There we go. There we go. Yeah, we gotta switch it, man. Got the red light. I know you can't see it, but the red light is fitting for today. Before we get started, 2:45. 2:45. That's where we at right now. It's not about me. It's not about the chart, not about the create-a-thon. Next day for that is gonna be this coming Tuesday. Today, though, we gotta talk Irv Gotti, man. Gotta talk Irv Gotti. Irv Gotti, unfortunately, passing away at the age of 54 years old. Right now, I got on that DMX. It's dark and hell is hot. Felt it was fitting to wear that for this particular live because for me, the first time I really, I guess, saw and knew who DMX was the same time I knew and heard who Irv Gotti was. So for me, those two and their careers, late 90s, synonymous, even though Irv Gotti did things before that. It wasn't until I got abreast of who DMX was that I knew who Irv Gotti was. And we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about that. I want to start this off. Obviously, with first and foremost, rest in peace. Rest in peace to Irv Gotti, who unfortunately died 54 years old. When the reports were coming out that he was on life support, I knew that wasn't good. And the reason why I knew that wasn't good, because I don't know if everybody saw the last time he was on Drink Champs when he didn't drink and he was speaking about his family's concerns. That that really let me know that things were a little more intense than what any of us may potentially know or think, right? Because obviously, I want to say he's been on Drink Champs with me 3 times, 3 maybe 4 times. I think 2 times with Ja, 1 for sure. But the last 2 times he went by himself, and that one time before, he was crashing out, as they say, right? He was saying all the salacious things about him and Ashanti and mess up things he did to J-Lo, and I admitted a lot of fault for things, but then was still like, hey, you know what? But I've created this, I've created that, blah, blah, blah. And then the second time he came on there, he was chill, really chill. He looked like he had lost some weight. Had revealed that he did have diabetes, did reveal that there were some health concerns and his family wanted him to chill, not drink. And he shouldn't have been drinking the last time he was there. And then he kind of like just disappeared, like just kind of faded to black. A lot of his, so I don't want to say so-called friends, but the people that we knew him to be aligned with the exception of Ja Rule, had a lot to say about, a lot of his recent acts, actions, words. And then we fast forward to this moment right here, and he's on life support, and I'm like, man, because usually life support is exactly like what it says. That means like as soon as they unplug this or as soon as they let this go, then you unfortunately are no longer with us. You're going to be gone. And they did say that family was, with him, and I think his not even I think I saw that his actual family, his sons and his I think their mother released a statement, or I think it was just 3 children. They released a statement confirming that he had passed February 5th, 2025. and he was surrounded by his family and friends. And before we even get into the music and the life, I think what's very important is that all of us need to do a better job of taking care of ourselves, right? Do a way better job of taking care of ourselves. Diabetes, stroke. Unfortunately, when you are black or brown in America, that is like synonymous with your like life. I don't know too many black and or brown people that go through life knowing nobody with diabetes, knowing nobody that's had a stroke, nobody with high blood pressure, nobody with hypertension, like all of these things. And the myth, the lie, even if you will, is that this is all hereditary. I'm sorry, hereditary. Jesus, hereditary. Like we can't escape it. We're all just gonna get it, and that's not the truth. The only thing that makes it hereditary are the eating habits, right? Only the eating habits of us and the lifestyle that we live. If we are living as our grandparents or parents or aunts and uncles, older brother, cousins, whoever, if we are living these unhealthy lifestyles, that's what makes it hereditary. We're You're not born destined to get diabetes. I'm not saying it's impossible, because depending on birth and how you're treated, how the carrier, the mother, is feeding themselves. Yes, things like that can be passed down, but in the most common of cases, that's not something you have to get, something you have to die from. So, health over everything, man. If nothing else, the last few years, especially, because now seemingly, we're not losing the people that we know to vices as much anymore. The people that are drinking and the people that were pills or, fentanyl, even though, it was a very high clip. It seems to have just gone down just a little bit, but now it's stroke, it's heart attack, it's diabetes. We're starting to lose people to natural causes now. Um, Natural causes due to poor lifestyle choices. So I just want to encourage everybody to just watch what you consume, watch what we consume. I know it's difficult. I know it's real difficult. There's a lot of nasty and bad habits that we've all picked up. And it's been difficult to shake. Like, I haven't had fast food all year, and I haven't since maybe first or second week of November, because I'm back on that again. No fast food. I'm so happy that when I log in to these social platforms, that I see so many of my friends and family members that have stopped a lot of the excessive smoking, excessive drinking. My wife currently is over 30 something days without a drink. And it's very important that we all do the things that can keep us around here for as long as possible. Like, that's super important. Um, on to Irv Gotti, which is the topic of the day, and I'm gonna pick up the energy. I'm gonna pick up, and we're gonna celebrate life and music and all of that. But the other thing about Irv Gotti is that 54, Irv Gotti died at 54 years old, and 54 sounds young than the mug to die, especially when you're personally like 10 years away from that age. You know, um, if Irv Gotti and I both lived through the summer, he's only 11 years older than me. I am making so many plans for 20 and 30 years from now that, man, would I be heartbroken if I am 9 years away from my final day. And that is that's gut wrenching. You know, 54 years old is not old at all. When you really look at life and what you can do with it, how many times you can start over. I'm in the process of starting over, you know, even as I built this YouTube channel up, right? And as I'm trying to build businesses and I've gotten married in my 40s and like there's so many different things. Like we'd have children this year. I could live to their 20 years old and I would still not be at the retirement age. You know, the whatever the standard, 65. I wouldn't even be 65 if that happened all this year. So, man, 54, that is heartbreaking, bro. That is very tough pill to swallow. Um, I don't know about all of you, but whether it's Irv Gotti, whether it's Rich Homie Quan, whether no matter who it is, DJ Clark Kent, everybody that's starting to pass just because of just health complications. Um, it's waking me up. It's waking me up, and it's making me think about life and how much more life there is to actually live. And I hope this encourages you all too. That live fast, die young culture that's been whacked. You want to live a long time, even if you know you're not where you want to be, if you haven't reached the success that you want, if you like life is long if you're making the wrong decisions. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. There's some aspects of my life that feel super long, but I'm still glad to be here. Still glad to be here and amongst living with another shot every day. That's why I get up and I read and I pray and I meditate because I'm happy to be alive. No matter what's going on, I'm happy to be alive and get another chance at making a better day. So I say all that just to say I hope that you all are one well, and if you're not well, I hope you are on the path to getting better. And also, I hope that if you weren't, news like Irv Gotti passing would be a reason for you to want to get better. Because even though we're about to celebrate and have some real talk, because I got notes. We got notes. I still don't want the underlying thing to be missed here. And the main idea as we celebrate this gentleman's life tonight is that you know you got to take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. It's more than just getting the bag. It's about your mind, body, and spirit. It's about you being in a position to not only take care of yourself, but to take care of others. Or if you are going to leave, you are going to depart this earth untimely, that you are able to take care of the people that you are going to leave behind. So let's start there. Let's start there. Irv Gotti, right? One of the last things that he did was sell his masters. Now, remember, this got a little convoluted because Ashanti was trying to stop some of this from happening, right? But I think he ended up selling his catalog for $300 million. I think that was the reported number, $300 million, and then he left that to his children. So you got what, 2 or 3 children, now 100 M's up, and that is awesome. That is awesome. Um, we don't talk about the the artists that are doing the right things enough in the afterlife. And it all started with Nipsey Hussle. Nipsey Hussle was the first one, obviously super tragic, untimely death, but for him to never have a platinum plaque or a gold record or anything like that, nobody from Black Sam on down to his parents, children, that nobody seems to be broke, starving, or looking like they need a handout. And that's awesome. And that's just going to show you that you don't need to sell a million records to be able to take care of the people that you need to take care of the most. And Quincy Jones, right? Quincy Jones is rumored, well, I don't know. I don't want to say rumored, but allegedly or speculatively, all of his children, about what was it, 200 million or something like that each, something like that. It's these are inspiring to see. Like, unfortunately, another thing synonymous with a lot of Black entertainers, Black and brown entertainers, especially ones in the hip hop and R&B space, is they pass on and there is debt and GoFundMe. Also tragic to have to deal with when the breadwinner is gone and there is no more bread. At least the early reports for the people that matter, they're saying that is going to be a non-issue, and that is fantastic to read, see, and register. So with that expensive catalog that he has there, let's sit, reflect back, and let's talk about Irv Gotti, who is definitely, not allegedly, not speculatively, not because he's gone now, but in real life, in real time, Irv Gotti is one of the greatest music A&Rs and producers in hip hop history. Those are the facts. And before y'all say anything, look, I'm a 50 Cent fan too, but we got to keep it real tonight. We got to be extremely real about Irv Gotti and his legacy and his career. And we have to do that because I know that we all got wrapped up in the beef, right? The Murder Inc. versus G Unit. We got wrapped up into that, and and we all love Ashanti, and we were told not to like Ja Rule's music anymore. So, there's a lot of just misinformation or miscalibration about who Irv Gotti really is. So I'm here with my notes and we're going to run through it, right? Why am I calling Irv Gotti one of the greatest music A&Rs? Well, and producers ever, especially in the hip hop and R&B space? Well, I'm doing it for this reason. I want you to listen to this list of people that were either found or signed first by Irv Gotti. That means either their first single or their first record deal came from Irv Gotti. Okay? Mike Geronimo. Now, I know Mike Geronimo did not end up becoming a really big star, but Mike Geronimo was his first shot at the music industry, and for the time, he had a really dope regional record called "Ish Is Real." I'm trying not to cuss, so "Ish Is Real." That was the first joint Mike Geronimo did. Mike Geronimo, where he is a legend, which is Queens, and that is probably the lowest tier star or lowest tier artist that I'm going to name, but I'll let you be the judge, okay? Because the next guy on this list is Ja Rule. So, and this Ja Rule is the first guy, the first artist that Irv Gotti uses to launch his own record label, Murder Inc. Now, I don't know if you heard of Murder Inc. I don't know if you heard of Ja Rule, but they made a few slaps and they sold a few million records. A lot of people don't like to relive this time, but there was definitely a time where Ja Rule was selling way more records than Jay-Z. Here's a little history fact for you all in case you were unaware. One of Jay-Z's biggest singles, and you can argue probably the biggest single on the Hard Knock Life Volume 2 album, is Can I Get Her, which was also on the Rush Hour soundtrack. Well, that was a Ja Rule song. That was a Ja Rule song that was produced by Irv Gotti. And Jay and Emil hopped on that. And Jay used that along with the Murder Inc. and the Rough Rider sound to launch his, I think, still his biggest selling album to date. But we'll move on. We'll move on about that. Next is a guy by the name of Earl Simmons. I don't know if you heard of him, man. He might be he may have went, past your radar, but he's also going by the name of DMX. DMX, the third person I have on this list. DMX, the infamous story of how Irv Gotti brings DMX to Lear Cohen, and he's got his mouth wired shut because he's been jumped, beat up, or something like that. So his mouth is wired shut, and Irv brings him to he brings Lear to X where he was, raps for him, and the rest is literally history. Lear calls him the pick of the litter, even though they didn't understand all the bargaining and all of that. Irv Gotti's vision is what got DMX his first deal. It is why you see the video for Get At Me Dog the way it looks. And this is the second. Well, before you are the third, I'm sorry, is actually the third artist that Irv Gotti has a hand in creating as a superstar, I should say. Like he's in that space. Okay. So now where do we go from here? I've already named Mike G, Ja Rule, and DMX. Well, now there's some revisionist history to a degree, and there's some speculation, but listen. Jay-Z, who may have been independent, who may have had in my lifetime, who may have already had motion with Jaz-O and Dame Dash and Biggs, but it was Irv Gotti that was instrumental, and not only one of the best records on Reasonable Doubt getting recorded and produced, and we're going to talk about that here in a little bit, but he's also instrumental in them getting their deal with Def Jam Rockefeller. Like Irv is instrumental in that. Matter of fact, I mean, hey, look, him and Dame, Irv and Dame had a situation. As they say it, well, Irv's thing was he's so worried. He said he calls it hating on X. They said they were hating on X and the deal that he was getting, and John the deal he was getting. And Irv called Dame out for trying to mess up their money in the effort to get theirs. But they all three got signed with Def Jam or Def Jam subsidiary deals all at the same time. So listen, so what have I just told you in that? What I've just told you is that without Irv Gotti, Ja Rule, DMX, and Jay-Z are not all on Def Jam at the exact same time. And you don't get Veni Vidi Vici. You don't get Hard Knock Life Volume 2. And you don't get As Dark and Hell is Hot as it sounds today. That's what I'm telling you. And that's important to know. That's important to know. Again, I'm not telling you that without Irv, Jay wouldn't be signed. No, but listen, look at the credits. DJ Irv, that is also Irv Gotti. Look at the credits. I'm gonna tell you, because we gotta go through my favorite songs produced by Irv Gotti. I'm just gonna give y'all 10. But the second wave of Def Jam, the Def Jam that y'all wanted LL Cool J to change his Mount Rushmore for, where are they without Irv Gotti? Let's talk about it. Okay. So now we've got Mike G, Ja, X, Jigga. Who's next? Well, who's next is Ashanti. He's Ashanti. Now, I know she had a deal before this, but she got shelved and then dropped. But it definitely was Murder Inc., where her first deal was housed. And she now has one of the most successful debut albums of any like R&B singer like ever. I think, like, you know what I mean? Like, you gotta think it's what, 20 something years since her first album. Y'all saw the verses. It's just this why this is important. Why this is important is because Ashanti's album drops in 2002, right? So Murder Inc. has already had a steam. In this process, some say that should have been Lil Mo that got signed with them because she was on the bigger records. And we do end up learning that J-Lo potentially was going to sign with Murder Inc. as well. But Ashanti is one of the premier writers. So where maybe one girl is the way better singer, and one woman is the actual, like, just the bigger star, and J-Lo, you got the writer with his production that really goes on a run in the hip hop and R&B space, and the pop, hip hop and hip hop R&B space that we haven't really seen before, and it don't look like we're gonna see that again if we're just being real. 6 million albums later, and I'm sure in counting, because who knows how they're counting it as far as streams go. But Ashanti. So Mike G, Ja, X, Jigga, Ashanti. Who's next? Who's next? Who else did he sign? Lloyd. Yes. Oh, get it, shorty. That's a Murder Inc. That is a Murder Inc. Product. Lloyd, who I know what y'all about to say. And I know Bedrock is y'all joint or whatever. And I'm not here to tell you that the best songs definitely came out under the Murder Inc. umbrella. However, the unfortunate thing for Lloyd is he gets signed, and then he gets his albums off, and then it's a raid. And we'll talk briefly about that. Unfortunately, he signs at the label. It's just bad timing. There really is no. It's just bad timing for him. By the time Street Love comes out, what can you do? What can you do? But both Southside was like, it's like a Def Jam product, but it's Murder Inc. there because Ashanti's on that album. So they're working out the deal at that time. By the time you get the Street Love, he's that's a full Murder Inc. project. And I want to say, I don't know. I think technically Lessons in Love was supposed to be a Murder Inc. project, but that's after 50. That's after the Feds, which Murder Inc. beat the Feds, the only rap label to ever do that. And but it's just time for him to go, and the whole rebrand that has to happen. So regardless, because Lloyd is still Lloyd, it is just still important to know that his first opportunity with the label, Def Jam / Murder Inc. That's who it was. So man, listen, I don't know. I don't know how you gauge greatness. I don't know how you feel about it, but here's the deal. I don't know too many people, executives in the industry that has that list. That list of there's over 100 million albums in this list. And that's only like 5 or 6 people. That's it. 1 second, please. You have over 100 million records. Now that's just A&R. That's just A&R. Some of J-Lo's biggest records are Irv Gotti production records. I'm Real. Ain't It Funny? The remix. I want to say there's another one out there. Hey, one of Fat Joe's biggest records, What's Love, produced by Irv Gotti. There's not there see that's a lot going on at one time. In case you were wondering if those are all he did, hey, look, he also produced Gangsta Lovin'. That's even Alicia Keys. They just don't stop Rainy Days, which I didn't realize that he was actually the producer for Rainy Days. I thought that was a Puff track. I ain't gonna lie to you. I thought that was a Puff track, but no, that was absolutely an Irv Gotti production. I know y'all love this joint. See again, this is why we got to keep it real. That's why we got to keep it real. If I didn't say Ain't It Funny, Ain't It Funny was his on there, but Come Back in One Piece, Aaliyah and DMX, produced by Irv Gotti. So again, yes, truthfully, whether you want to believe it or not, no matter what 50 Cent has told you, if you are a fan of music, if you are studying music, if you really know who people are and their contributions to this, Irv Gotti is one of the greatest. And I'm telling y'all songs, and these aren't even in my top 10 of the songs that he's producing. We're gonna get to that. Well, maybe one of them is. I don't know. I'll let y'all see as we build, right? We build. You know, I get he was crashing out and was lashing out on some hurt stuff because man, he lost his label. Like he lost his label, he lost his girl, he was losing money. 50 Cent has been unstoppable. Even if he's not selling, 10 million here and there. It's like if you look at the Murder Inc. survivors, like they really went through a lot. So I get it. But what we can't do, what we can't do is disregard or disrespect what he's built for the industry and what he built for hip hop and what he built in New York. Like what Irv Gotti is one of the greater champions of New York. I mean, look at this list. Look at the rappers that he's instrumental in having a hand in. What's more New York than Mike Geronimo? What's more New York than DMX? You know what I mean? Like what's more New York than that? And you know, he's even though we got to watch the public fall from grace. That doesn't mean that there wasn't that we should disregard the greatness that actually happened. You know what I'm saying? Like, so now let me take it a step further, right? Let me take it a step further. So I give you that list of people that he's A&R, which assisted in getting signed, helped developing the artists. And then we talked about some of these big records that he's produced. Call me crazy, because I'm okay with that. But you can't convince me in my mind that the Murder Inc. raid doesn't happen, and I'll even say, even with the 50 and Ja thing happening, as long as they don't get raided for, the crack house and, the hip hop police really on them and running the Def Jam offices, you can't tell me that Jay-Z's president at Def Jam run is not Irv Gotti's, because that's the guy that really earned it. That was the guy. You look at labels now, and even look at labels back then. There are some moguls that were given labels and given offices and given seats at different labels that haven't done half the work or have had half the success that Irv Gotti had. Like, how can you tell me the guy that signed the guy that has down ass chick, living it up, thug loving, and what's my the Lil Mo? Where would I be without you? Put it on me. And then it's Ain't It Funny, and then it's I'm Real. Those songs dominating the charts. Then you got Fat Joe's What's Love, and so now he's dominating pop, hip hop, and R&B charts because they has Ashanti also with Foolish. How does he not get an executive seat at any label, let alone Def Jam? It's a no-brainer that he's the guy. But I think much like even with all the success, people were probably still afraid of everything surrounding them. It's called Murder Inc. Look, they had to change the label name to The Inc. They had to change it because of what was going on and what they were being accused of. It was viewed as a crime organization. They called their studio the Crack House, so that got raided as well. They went in Def Jam's offices and was looking for basically a RICO charge. They tried to hit Murder Inc. with a RICO charge. Now, they'll say that it's because 50 Cent is a snitch. I'm not touching that. I'm not touching anything street related. I am only here to talk about the music. That is it. The music and the run. But what I will say is that, just lightly on that, you look at his success from 1998 to 2003. You can't tell me about 2005 or 6 that he's not supposed to be the VP at Def Jam or the president of Def Jam. Because Jay, at that time, if you stack up their resumes just for other artists, like who have they made hot versus making themselves hot, obviously Jay made himself incredibly hot. And I'm not saying that he wouldn't have tried to get an executive position, but there literally should have been a situation where maybe he was VP and Irv would have been the president or something of that nature. There should have been something else going on. And I think even with that, it's conspiracy theory time. For me, Jay wanting that position because Irv couldn't take it, I think, is literally why him and Dame are probably not cool as they should be to this day. One of the reasons. Keeping their music, people. Just keeping their music. 1 second here. One thing I want to highlight here is production style. Because as I was doing my research and as I'm listening to music again throughout last night and today, I want to credit Irv Gotti for creating the Young Berg production run first. Yeah, you know, um, he said it in the song, "Feels so good," Harlem World, Mace. Diddy took hits from the '80s and made it sound so crazy, right? Irv Gotti is the guy that was interpolating and flipping samples that we already knew were hot. He was taking songs that we already knew were hot, redoing them, repurposing them, or just flipping even his same samples twice. Hey, look, Can I Live and Rain on Me? He did both of those. So Jay-Z and Ashanti, he produced both of those. The Smiles and South Star joint. Was it Tell Me? That's also Mesmerize. Ja Rule and Ashanti. He did Down for You is Damn Crush on You. So he's done. He did that first, like where Berg. But the thing is, the difference between Berg and Irv Gotti is that in some respects, Irv made bigger hits the second time around, where Berg is just got some stuff that's streaming for the moment. There's no disrespect because he started off on fire, but then they weren't even trying. After that, like Berg definitely hit a wall where he's like, hey, well, let's just take this Jagged Edge, and I'm just gonna throw Jeremiah on it, and that's I'm not here to hate, okay, but but Irv Gotti is the guy. Now, granted, I'm not saying that. Well, for my time, I think he's the first one to do that. I'm open to being wrong. Please correct me if I am wrong, but I do believe that Irv Gotti was the first guy to take the real time sample flips and interpolations to make, in some respects, bigger hits for his label artist. You know, because I want to say Down for You was a bigger record than Crush on You, and I believe Mesmerize was a bigger record than the Smiles of South Star joint. You know, you don't. Oh shoot! I mean, Foolish. Foolish is One More Chance remix. And we know which one's the bigger record. I'm sorry. I know we love Big. I know we love One More Chance. But Foolish is obviously the bigger record. There's so much of a bigger record, they threw Biggie on it. I just lived the time. I don't make the rules. I'm not making this up. I just lived it. That's it. So salute to Irv Gotti for doing that. You know. So now let's before I get into my favorite joints, I want to have one more topic here. As we look back, and I know the game ain't changed, right? Things are still the same. The realities that still exist are still here. But here's what I want you to think about. Looking back, what do we believe? Did 50 Cent really destroy Murder Inc.? Or was it just a perfect storm of controversy while losing a rap battle? Now, I say that as a fan of 50 Cent. See, I never viewed the 50 Ja thing like everybody else, but unlike most people, I didn't have Ja Rule's catalog either. I bought Veni Vidi Vici. And I thought that album was cool. But when I saw the direction he was going in, and look, and you know what? I'm young. I'm full of testosterone. I don't really want to hear that shit he doing. I'm just being honest. It didn't I didn't want to hear Always on Time at the moment. I didn't want to hear Pain is Love. I didn't want to hear Rule 336 Between Me and You. I didn't want to hear that. So for me, I wasn't a fan. Like I always loved DMX. I loved Jay-Z. So for me, I was collecting their catalogs, and I only had Ja Rule's first album. So I always look at like I never turned on Ja Rule. I gave him my one listen, and I was cool off that. But now the majority of you out there that switched your tune once in the club drop, see, this is y'all fault. So that's why I'm asking the question in hindsight. Looking back, what do we believe? Did 50 Cent really destroy Murder Inc. records? Or was it just a perfect storm of controversy while losing a rap battle? Let's look at it like this. Look at what Young Thug was facing. At the RICO charge, Gunna has admitted that that YSL was a gang in an effort to go home, and you got young dudes selling drugs and killing people. That's what they were trying to put. They were trying to put drug trafficking. They were trying to put crimes. They were trying to put murders. They were trying to put bodies on YSL as a label and the Young Thug specifically. Same probable cause things that were happening to Murder Inc. Again, they called their studio the crack house. The feds and the hip hop police specifically thought that was like, oh, they're really selling crack in the crack house. They weren't, it was, they don't want to hear euphemisms. They don't want to hear hip hop slang. They don't want to hear how this crack that you're cooking up is music. They don't want to hear that. So, and then you're called Murder Inc. Now, granted, Murder Inc. was also a mob movie, but who was Irving Lorenzo going by? Irv Gotti, his brother, Chris Gotti. So they're the Gotti family. Who was under investigation, I think around that same time? The actual Gottis, So now, take all of that, right? And even think about it in Thug's case. So now, let's put it present day. Let's take it off Earth for a minute. Let's say YSL going through what they're going through, right? RICO charge, facing life or a long, long time. Now imagine having to do that, but you're unable to respond to a battle that's going on that's Drake and Kendrick level. Like really think about it. Back Down comes out. Wankster comes out. Your Life's on the Line comes out. Back Down comes out. And in the midst of all of this, and even 50 is saying it at the end of Back Down. I ain't gonna tell him you pussy. I ain't gonna tell him you getting extorted. Cheek on it. Like that's at the end of Back Down. And then sure enough, months later, there's a raid. There's extortion attempts. There's a RICO charge pending. And in the middle of him selling 3 or 4 million records, he went gold in a week. So in 1 week, 500,000 people or more heard Back Down after already hearing Wankster, after already hearing Your Life's on the Line. If you were mixtapes heavy, So you get this RICO charge and a rap battle happening at the same time. How can you respond? And look, we seen how Lil Baby respond, and he ain't even had nothing to do with nothing. He waited till Thug got parole to put out music. That ain't by accident. And Ja and Irv will always stand by, hey, look, we literally couldn't record. We couldn't do anything. Like, it was a strategic play. And they, hey, smart. Hey, listen, brilliant move by 50. 50 is a genius. I love 50 Cent. 50 is a genius. But I do wonder, where does this go if the raid happens when Curtis drops versus when The Last Temptation is trying to drop and before the massacre comes out? I just wonder where we are in that conversation? Do we then look like 50 buried Murder Inc? Now, and I know that's the narrative that he wants to run with, and the optics will tell you different. But look, here we are, present day though. Let's be clear. I know a lot of there's, they'll catch your bad, moments, and then catch you in the Fire Festival. But hey, listen, I've been in a couple different cities at a couple different venues, and the Ja Rule and Ashanti headlining show is packed. Tens of thousands of people are there. A lot of them are Black. So I just wonder, what do we believe now that it's 2025? What do we believe? And don't get me messed up. Ja lost the battle. He lost clean. He just got beat, just like Drake. He just got beat, right? But Murder Inc.'s Def Jam run was put to a halt. Like, it came to a halt, and they were low key independent, fighting Interscope. At that time, is a monster. Interscope in 2003, they're fresh off of Chronic 2001. They're fresh off the Marshall Mathers LP. They're gearing up. Get Rich or Die Trying. They can't be stopped. They can't be stopped. So, G-Unit album on the way. Games album is about to do 5 million. Like, they can't be stopped. Meanwhile, Murder Inc. is running like they on SoundClick. I just wonder, where is it? Where does it look differently now that we just have more information about how music is produced, how labels move, and now that we've seen another big battle, and we've seen another RICO charge. Hey, look, Drake is suing UMG, or petitioning against UMG, because he thinks that his record was being stifled. Ja Rule has been saying, hey, I couldn't even drop the stuff I wanted y'all to hear, while he's going crazy out here on us. It just brings credence, because you can still lose the battle. The songs are the songs, the verses are the verses. You still have, like, Clapback wasn't enough. Crown wasn't enough. The Blood in My Eye album wasn't enough. He abandoned his audience in an attempt to be more street. This is really not the thing to do. So, it's an L is an L, but does it look as bad if they don't have the legal issues? That's all I want to ask y'all. Let me know in the comments whenever you see this. One more thing before I get to the final tracks, because I think it's my favorite tracks. I'm sorry, because I think it's important to highlight this. Unfortunately, the controversy surrounding Irv Gotti, Murder Inc., all of that is literally, it's just the power of words, affirming words and what they mean, right? Every interview, especially in the last, 3 years, there are so many people that were coming out willing to talk about how street or how gangsta Irv Gotti wasn't, how he wasn't that. And again, I'm not here for the street tales. I'm grown. I'm in my 40s. I don't even care. I don't care, because this is music. This is art. Art can be life. And you know, I I think it's unfortunate that we hold artists to a different standard than we do movie directors. Scorsese doesn't get the kind of flack that Irv Gotti would. You know, Quentin Tarantino will never be held to the same standard as Jay-Z, but it's what it is. It is what it is, because that's the we love authenticity in music, We love the story. We love the action. We love the car wreck, as they say. We love to watch the car wreck. But I really do wish that we looked at a lot of this as just art. But unfortunately, when you just look back in time and you see some of the antics, some of the things said, uh, it's just the aspect of, man, we want to be so tough. We want to be so gangster. Like, we just can't be cool. What happened to just being cool? What happened to being smooth? Like, literally just wanting to be the roughest, toughest, most gangster. Like, all of that is probably leading to the lifestyle that unfortunately does not have Irv with us here today. You know, the story that he told on Drink Champs about wanting to pull up in the middle of the hood in DC and eat fried chicken on a Maybach with Nas. It was just like, yo, that was like, why? Why? You know, Nas has sold millions of records at this point. Why do we want to do that? You got to think about things like that. Like, what are we trying to prove? I often wonder, with the visionary that he is, with the ear that he had for music, what was Irv Gotti trying to prove with some of this other stuff, bro? I often think about that. I just want to share that real quick, but let's get into my favorite joints because this is supposed to be an uplifting, upbeat celebration of a giant in the hip hop music world, hip hop and R&B music world. Let's keep it a bean, right? So look, I got 10 joints here. I don't know if y'all heard of them, but you about to hear them today. And I wish I could play the music. If this was exclusively on Twitch, I bet you I could, but y'all know me. I'm building a YouTube channel, so you're just gonna get what YouTube can give us, and that's just me talking up the songs. All right. So 10, I'm gonna go Mary J. Blige, and Ja Rule, Rainy Days. Now this is for Jones. Jones be hating on this song. My man Jones be hating on this song, but this is fire. And I love the fact that Ja Rule totally embraced, like, hey, yo, you doing all this singing? Hey, look, well, I'm literally gonna do a duet with Mary J. Blige. And dare I say, he might have outsung her on this song. But no, hey, Rainy Days. I love this track. Like the production on this is super fire. I love that song. Um, number 9, Holla, Holla, Ja Rule. Ja Rule's very first single, by the way. This is the first time I seen a Hype Williams video. It's the first time I seen Girls from Brazil. I was 17 years old. It was life changing. But the song. Hey, listen, this is a hell of a introduction. You know, I was I was what? Yeah, I was in high school. I want to say, and I heard this, and I was like, yo, yeah, I love this. This is awesome. This is completely awesome. But that's enough about that. As far as beat wise, right? Let's go. Let's go. New York. Number 8, New York by um Ja Rule, Jada Kiss, Fat Joe. Another great one. Can't beat it. This matter of fact, let's talk about New York real quick. New York might have literally saved Ja Rule's complete, I guess I don't want to say demise. See, demise sounds super crazy. That sounds super crazy. But you know, I think it was when this came out. This did what Clap Back and Crown didn't do. Like it was supposed to do this, but it didn't. You know what I'm saying? So I look at that and I say, huh, well, we got a little something here. And maybe he's not totally dead in the water yet. Right. So let's move on to the next one. Sorry, I had to make an extra note here. I just saw something. But I'm gonna tell you why I don't have it on this list. So we'll get to that. Usual Suspects. Now, I like Usual Suspects for a few reasons. One, this is the actual first song that I remember hearing from Mike Geronimo. Okay. So I remember hearing Usual Suspects from Mike Geronimo first on this. But this is also the first time I hear DMX on Usual Suspects. And I hear this on the How to Be a Player soundtrack. And that opening verse from DMX, I was like, wait a minute, who is that? Like, who the hell is this guy? This guy is crazy. And I instantly was like, yo, gotta check for him again. And I want to say the next time I heard him was 4321 on LL Cool J's on LL Cool J's single for that Phenomenon. Yes, the Phenomenon album, 1997. Yes. So let me see. Okay, cool. Yeah, I had to make sure I didn't leave something off, and I didn't. And we'll talk about these too, though. We got some honorable mentions coming up. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Because Usual Suspects was 7. And number 7, 8. And by the way, that's Usual Suspects. If you haven't heard it, is Mike Geronimo, is DMX, is Ja Rule. If you don't or are unable to get the How to Be a Player soundtrack, you can also check, I think it's Mike Geronimo's second album. It's called Vendetta. It's also on that as well. Let me see. The Locks is also on that song. Tragedy Gaddafi album, Nazi. He on that joint as well. Mike G, if this is the one where he took a little bit of the bad boy sound for the lead single, and the B side was Usual Suspects, but he definitely took a page out of the Bad Boy book, and I think it's the joint is called Nothing But the Money. I think that's what it was called. But it didn't do well for him, and I think that project, that whole situation after Usual Suspects, I don't think Irv and Mike Geronimo ever worked together again. Unfortunate. Number 6, though. And I don't have this song on here because of the story he told on Drink Champs. I kid you not when I tell you this is probably my favorite Ashanti song. Happy. I got Happy in my top 10 of Irv Gotti productions. And listen, it sounded fire when you talk about, he was wearing her out, went into the, woke up, after wearing her out, took a shower and started thinking about the beat. That was a fly story. Now, she said that none of that happened, but I don't care. Okay. What I care about is when I heard the album and I thought I had a chance with her in high school, that this was my favorite song on the album. This, like, my mom bought the album. My mom used to buy everything. And she bought the Ashanti album. And Happy was definitely the joint. I was like, yo, this is a dope. I like this melody. And I really thought I just thought the writing was really good. That's when I started really paying attention to arrangements. If you really listen to the arrangement and the production of Happy. It's a really well-produced song. It's just a well-crafted song. Yeah, I love that song. Just thought I'd share that. Okay. Uh, so now to the top five. The top five. I bet you didn't know this because you got to have the album to know it, probably. Unless you, I mean, you might check credits on singles. You might. But Hotspot, Foxy Brown. This is actually a top five Foxy Brown song for me too. Like, I ain't gonna lie. I bought the China Doll album because I heard Hotspot. I'm not joking to you. I'm not joking at all. So, and didn't realize that Irv had produced a handful of Foxy records. I had no idea. But he definitely produced one of my favorite ones. Now, granted, I know y'all gonna be like, what about Brooklyn, BK Anthem? I was like, yeah, that's fire. That could be number 4, but this is in my 5 though. Hotspot, especially how they dancing at the end of the video. Like, they gave you a bop to the end of this song. How can you not love it? I'm gonna say, okay, I'm gonna flip these around. Number 5. Unless that was 5. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, no, so number 4. So number 4, I got Can I Live by Jay-Z / Rain on Me by Ashanti. So now this is what I was talking about earlier when it comes to Irv Gotti doing the interpolations or reflipping the flip. So he produced Can I Live on Jay-Z's Reasonable Doubt. He's DJ Irv on that in the credits. It should say DJ Irv. For Ashanti's album, Rain on Me, he flips that again. And me, trying to be a hater, was like, oh man, they took the Jay-Z joint. And then I started reading the credits. It was like, oh wait, he did both of them. This is because back when you could buy albums and they had the actual album in the cover. Like I was dying to hate. And I was like, DJ Irv. I was like, wait a minute, that's probably still Irv Gotti. So great job to him for flipping the same sample twice and, dare I say, making a better beat the second time around for the for an R&B song. So yeah, you gotta love that. Number 3, DMX. What's my name? I love What's My Name by DMX. Price of admission. I hear What's My Name, I immediately know I'm gonna buy, and then there was X. There was no question. I didn't need to hear anything else on the album. He was getting my $17, and unless that was when albums were going to the new low price then, because that was like 2001. But it don't even matter. I tell you what, when What's My Name, and I saw the video on the box, bro, listen, copped. You couldn't tell me that. I went straight to LimeWire as soon as I saw it on the box. Straight to LimeWire. So top 3 Irv Gotti track for me, not even close. Get Thee Behind Me. Everything, like my world stopped for What's My Name. And still to this day, I think that's one of the upper echelon of DMX tracks. Number 2. Now, number 2 is sentimental for me. Number 2, I have Ja Rule and Lil Mo, I Cry. I love I Cry. They flipped the OJ's joint. I love this joint so much that I wrote a song to it. I wrote a song into it, and it was one of the highlights of my set back at North Beach or in Downers Grove or the Barn. I closed at Willowbrook, right? I did a set. I did a set at the Barn in Willowbrook, and I closed with a song called "The Pain." And "The Pain" is a song I wrote to I Cry. Like we just took the instrumental and I just rapped like Ja Rule never recorded to it. And I tell you what, My set was better for it. So I thank Irv Gotti for breaking out one of my local, mildly successful classics, right? I used to go crazy with this on my MySpace page. You couldn't tell me that I didn't kill the I Cry beat. And I threw it up on MySpace. And it got thousands of views or listens or whatever the metric was at that time. So that's number 2 for me. Always, always sentimental value to me. I do actually like the song too. I actually like the song. Content wise, I honestly think I feel myself, you know what I mean? So I think my song is better, whatever, and not for nothing. And it could have been just some gyro hate, but some people like, yo, man, this is actually a really dope song. You should try to get another, you should try to get somebody to flip the beat so you can sell this. Like, maybe, who knows? Enough about me. Number one of my favorite Irv Gotti produced tracks. This was a pleasant surprise because I just assumed that this just was not him. And but I should have known better because Ashanti's on the hook. Number 1 for me, and always number 1, my favorite Irv Gotti produced track is Big Pun and Ashanti, How We Roll. And it's the one where they, flip the Janet Jackson Let's Wait a While for the hook. I mean, I'm sorry, not like the cadence of the hook, but the one that they actually shoot the video for. This was the lead single to Big Pun's posthumous album, Endangered Species. It's my favorite Pun record because I love what he's talking about on this record. It's just, How We Roll, wildly enough, it's so visionary based. It's so reflective, but yet progressive. And it talks about all the things that just Pun wants out of life. And unfortunately, his life is cut extremely short, also due to health reasons. So, but I love this beat. I love this track. I love everything about this. This one is this is a beat I actually went looking for. Never could get a clean copy of it. But hey, my days of doing mixtapes are over as far as I know. So so it don't even matter. But yes, number 1 for me, Big Pun, Ashanti, How We Roll. That's the 10. That's my 10. And yes, they may not be the biggest records that were ever done by Irv Gotti, but hey, this is what album cuts are for, If What's Love is your favorite joint, then let it be that. If Between Me and You, Can I Get Her, Living It Up, if that's one of your favorites, let it be that. You know what I'm saying? I'm Real, Ain't It Funny, Thug Lovin', Baby, because he produced Baby too. You know what I'm saying? Come Back in One Piece. If those are your joints, then let it be that. That's cool. Rock With You. Oh baby, he did that. So it's a lot of great joints, man. A lot of them. He did Southside. Southside, Lloyd's first single, Southside. He did that. So, listen to some Irv Gotti, man. Listen to Irv. Rest in peace, Irv. Rest in peace, Irv Gotti, man. I want to close by saying I know no matter what people may say on earth, I know that Irv is not mad at 50 Cent for what he did yesterday. Because he would have did the exact same thing. He would have did the exact same thing. It's, we fortunately or unfortunately, we have lived to see 2 people literally war to the death, even though they may not have killed each other. But near-death experiences have happened over 20 years. Irv Gotti is said to be friends with the person that tried to kill 50 Cent, right? And then there's that whole thing on the Beef DVD where Black Child says that he stabbed up G Unit. Then there's a fist fight between Ja Rule and 50 Cent in Atlanta. And hey, Ja Rule says he won the fist fight, and nobody seems to deny it. Now moving forward, they battle through music, so they battle through TV shows, Power versus Tails. And like those guys legit hated each other. One would say for good reason. We pray for the best outcomes. I'm glad they didn't literally kill each other, but hey, energy is real, man. Energy is real, positive or negative. People won't forget how you make them feel. People won't forget the things you say and do to them. People won't forget the things that you say and do when you ain't got no business saying or doing, or you're just misaiming your venom, your vitriol, whatever it is. Like, be careful how you speak to people. Be careful what you accuse people of. Be careful of the goofy shit you might want to say or do with no facts, because you never know how somebody's gonna react, and you can't control how they react, or if they apologize, or if they forgive, or if they forget. We're never in control of it. All the positive or the negative that we ever do for anybody, we're not in control of the consequences, positive or negative. Always remember that. One more thing before I close. Obviously, I would have put It's Murder and Murdergram in my top 10. But Irv Gotti didn't produce those. He was the executive producer of Ja's album, so he's listed. But Ty Fife did those. Ty Fife did It's Murder and Murdergram, the Jay-Z, Ja Rule, DMX joints. It's Murder, Murdergram. Ty Fife did both of those. So that's why they didn't make my list, for all you heads that may be thinking that I'm tripping or bugging for leaving them out. Just want to make sure y'all know that I know that y'all know that I know who produced those for real. All right. Man, hey, listen, thank you. Thank you for tuning in, no matter how long you tuned in or whenever you decide to tune into this. Thank you. Again, I say rest in peace, Irv Gotti. Rest in peace, DMX. Rest in peace, DMX and Irv Gotti. Please take care of yourselves. Love each other. Be at your best self and your best health for as long as you can, man. Straight up. And know that always and consensually, it's love.